welcome back again. We will be discussing remaining part of ophthalmology. See, these are rapid classes. Okay, so don't expect me to go slow. You have to cope up with me, and this is supplement for your original notes, not the substitute. Okay, so let's get started. Now, cornea. Cornea has epithelium, Bowman's layer, stroma, Duas layer, Descemet membrane, and endothelium. Okay, mnemonic to remember this will be A, B, C, D, E. Something is better than nothing. Okay, now there are 2 points about each layer. We will discuss it. Epithelium. Epithelium has 5 to 6 cell layer. Okay, inner epithelium is called as basal epithelium. Innermost layer is basal epithelium. Now, Bowman's layer, it is false layer. Okay, false, so it will be a cellular layer. Okay, why it is false? It is just a condensation of stroma, that's why it is called as false layer. Now, stroma. Stroma is the thickest layer of cornea. Thickest. Here you can see how much it is. Almost it consists 70 to 90% of cornea. Okay, now Duas layer, this is just recently discovered. Okay, it is also called as pre-Descemet layer. It is useful for lamellar keratoplasty. Okay, lamellar keratoplasty. Okay, and it is the most resistant layer. Then Descemet membrane and endothelium. Okay, this is Descemet membrane is second most resistant layer. Okay, now we will go for endothelium layer. Okay, I will write it down here. Endothelium. Endothelium cell has hexagonal shape cell. Okay, it is a single layer. Okay, and most metabolically active layer. Most metabolically active layer because it has sodium potassium ATPase channel. Sodium potassium ATPase. Okay, it has sodium potassium ATPase channel. Now, nerve supply of cornea. You know this very famous bat. Okay, it is used by Rohit Sharma for 200 against Australia. Why I am showing this? Nerve supply of cornea. trigeminal nerve, branch will be ophthalmic nerve, and its branch is nasociliary nerve. Now mnemonic will be TON, ton. This is the nerve supply of cornea. Now from where cornea get nutrition? Anyone? Oxygen comes from air, and nutrition comes from aqueous humor. Next, here you can see hexagonal, pentagonal cells. It is done for view of endothelium layer. It is called as specular microscopy. It is done to see pathologies in endothelium layer. Okay. Now this is the image of bacterial ulcer. Okay. Now here you will see pain, okay, pain, redness, and photophobia, okay, with sterile hypopyon, sterile hypopyon. This one, it looks sterile, पूरा white है, okay, sterile hypopyon. Now hint will be in your question is sudden, painful loss of vision with red eye. If you will see this in your question, this should be bacterial ulcer. Okay. Most common organism causing bacterial ulcer worldwide will be your Staph aureus. And in India, what is it? Pneumococcus. Pneumococcus is in India, most common worldwide. It is Staph aureus. If you will get both and they will say most common, then you will choose Staph aureus. Okay. Now, organism that can penetrate intact cornea. There is mnemonic called as high level CNS. This will be your Haemophilus, Listeria, Corynebacterium diphtheria, Neisseria gonococci, gonococcus, and Neisseria meningitis, and this one will be Shigella. This organism can penetrate intact cornea. Now, fungal corneal ulcer. Here you can see feathery margin, feathery margin or finger like projection. Okay, and in this, see, this is main lesion, right? These one are satellite lesion, satellite lesions also seen in fungal corneal ulcer. Okay, satellite lesion seen in fungal corneal ulcer. Now, causative organism is anyone? No? Aspergillus. Aspergillus and Fusoform. And treatment for this is natamycin, topical natamycin. MCQ already been asked in your exam. Okay, when you will get fungal corneal ulcer question, there will be hint in your case. What is it? Okay, trauma by vegetative material or tail of animal. Trauma by vegetative material or tail of animal. This has already come up in your exam as a case. Now, this one. It look like a ring, right? This is called as ring ulcer caused by acanthamoeba. Okay, and diagnosed by non-nutrient agar with E. coli. Non-nutrient agar with E. coli. MCQ already been asked in your exam, and treatment will be PHMP, polyhexamethylene bigunide. Polyhexamethylene bigunide. This is the treatment. This is also been asked in your exam. Okay, now this MCQ coming again and again. Image is suggestive of anyone? This is called as what? Dendritic ulcer. They asked you this question recently. Before that, they have given the same image and they asked what is the treatment. Before that, true about dendritic ulcer, what it causes with corneal sensation. It decreases corneal sensation. Okay, they have asked 3-4 questions continuously and the same image which I am showing you right now. Okay, now see, dendritic ulcer is caused by HSV. Okay, there will be loss of corneal sensation. MCQ already came. Okay, now treatment for this is acyclovir 3% ointment. Okay, and if you use steroid in dendritic ulcer, it will lead to geographic ulcer. So it is the complication of dendritic ulcer when you will use steroid. Okay, and one more thing which I will love to tell you, there is no paper without herpes, hepatitis. There is no paper in India without these viruses. They will ask, surely they will ask herpes and hepatitis. So read it carefully, and you should know each and everything about herpes and hepatitis. Okay, now we will go. Here you can see coined shaped deposits. Okay, coined shaped deposits over stroma. Okay, it is seen in nummular keratitis. It is seen in nummular keratitis. It is seen in nummular keratitis is seen in herpes zoster ophthalmicus. It is seen in herpes zoster ophthalmicus. Okay, you should know this one. This is already asked. Okay, they were asked like this. Question was nummular keratitis is seen in herpes zoster, not herpes simplex. Okay, now next, patient seen below in image is likely to develop which of the following complication? Just now I told you it is the image of herpes zoster ophthalmicus, and you will see which ulcer, nummular or dendritic. Nummular keratitis is seen in herpes zoster ophthalmicus, and dendritic is seen in herpes simplex. Okay, now, and this is called as Hutchinson sign. This is called as Hutchinson sign. See, second image, Hutchinson sign. It is, I will describe you Hutchinson sign. Single sided lesion on face involving forehead, eyelid, and tip of nose and eye, right? Of course, eye. So this is called as Hutchinson sign. And dermatome involved in this, dermatome T3 to L3, and nerve will be your tone, which I give you the mnemonic which I gave you just before. TON, trigeminal ophthalmic and nasociliary branch. Okay, and treatment for this, 800 mg acyclovir 5 times a day for 10 to 14 days. 5 times a day for 10 to 14 days. Okay, and one question: most common nerve involved in herpes zoster. I am saying herpes zoster only, not herpes zoster ophthalmicus. You will get confused. Most common nerve involved in herpes zoster infection, as an infection, it is frontal nerve. Frontal nerve. Okay, now next, Fleischer ring is seen in. Fleischer ring is seen in Wilson disease, right? No, wrong. Wilson disease we will see KF ring. In keratoconus we will see Fleischer ring, only F, not KF. In pterygium, what we will see? Stalker's. You will see Stalker's line. Now, in keratoconus and pterygium, which iron will get deposited? I already told you in last session. This one is your iron. Okay, in Wilson disease, tell me, try copper, and there is one more you should remember. In band keratopathy, there will be deposition of calcium. Band keratoplasty, there will be deposition of calcium. Okay, now next, keratoconus. This is called as Munson sign. Munson sign. This one, it is bulging of lower lid on down gaze. When you will look down, there will be bulging on lid. Okay, now see, till the limbus, this is your limbus, right? Till the limbus you are seeing arrowhead. When you will put light from the temporal side on the nasal side, till the limbus you will see arrowhead. Okay, this appearance is called as Rizzuti sign. When you will put light from temporal side on the toward the nasal side, you will see arrowhead hitting on limbus. Okay, this one is clear image. You might get some diffuse image also. Okay, be clear with it. Now uveal tract. I already told you this. Okay, iris. Now I am going to tell you infection. Iris, if there is infection, it's called as iritis. Iris plus pars placata infection is called as iridocyclitis. Okay, and both together will come in anterior uveitis. Anterior uveitis. Both will come together in anterior uveitis. Iritis and iridocyclitis will come in anterior uveitis. Now, if pars plana get infected, it is called as pars planitis. Pars planitis. This is your intermediate uveitis. Okay, and if choroid get infected, this is called as choroiditis, and it will come in posterior choroiditis. It will come in posterior uveitis. When anterior, posterior, intermediate all get infected together, it is called as planitis. Okay, now this one, this is iritis. Okay, this is called as snowbanking. Okay, now this is these are different. Okay, this is called as cope noodle. Seen on pupillary margin. Seen on pupil margin, and these are Buzzake noodle. Seen on base of iris. Seen on base of iris. How to remember it? KP, Kevin Peterson. KP. This is has been already asked. Now Buzzake. Buzzake, the organ which most of the boys love. Bubba. Sorry to give vulgar mnemonic, but there is a catch in it. Okay, why? See, where I kept it. This one. This image you are not going to get, but for the sake of completion, okay, these are called as Berlin nodule. Berlin nodule, seen on iris angle BA. That's why I give you that mnemonic. I am not a pervert. Okay, now this is called as snowbanking. 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 Okay, most common cause for intermediate uveitis is sarcoidosis. No, most common cause is idiopathic. Followed by sarcoidosis. Okay, second most common cause is sarcoidosis, and in sarcoidosis you will also see candle wax dripping, candle wax dripping. Okay, now posterior uveitis. Can you tell me the most common cause for this? What is it? Most common cause is toxoplasmosis. And second most is TB. Okay, in toxoplasmosis you will see hair light in the fog appearance, hair light in the fog appearance, headlight in the fog appearance, headlight surrounded by fog. Okay, now see, something is going from limbus till the limbus. Something is going from the limbus till the limbus. It is called as band keratoplasty. It is the complication of uveitis. It is the complication of uveitis. Just I told you what will get deposited in band keratoplasty. What? It is calcium. Calcium will get deposited in band keratoplasty. Okay, now what is it? Try. This is called as cavernous sinus thrombosis. Cavernous sinus thrombosis, proptosis, redness, chemosis, okay, and extraocular muscle paralysis. It will be seen in cavernous sinus thrombosis, thrombus in cavernous sinus. And treatment for this will be it is thrombosis. So first IV heparin, right, IV antibiotics, and to heal it, steroids. Heparin is given to remove the thrombus, right? Now cavernous sinus. See, there are two cavernous sinus, right? This one is one, then this one is second. Okay, now I will draw one cavernous sinus, just line diagram. Okay, in the middle you will see two parts. One is your ICA, internal carotid artery, right? This one. And second is your sixth nerve, abduction nerve. Okay, on the wall of cavernous sinus there is presence of four nerve, right? Third, fourth, ophthalmic branch of trigeminal nerve and maxillary branch of trigeminal nerve, right? Now there was one anatomic question. Structure passing through cavernous sinus is, option will be your third, fourth, fifth and sixth. The answer will be 6. I am saying structure passing through cavernous sinus. Either it will be 6 now or ICA or both, if it is given A and B both. And if you will get question like this, if at all you need to choose one, then you will choose 6th or ICA. Okay. And if there is one question like this, structure passing through cavernous sinus is 3rd, 4th, 6th, all of the above, what then you will choose? You will choose all of the above. Okay. This question came recently, so remember it. Structure passing through cavernous sinus. The given option was 6th now. Now, this is it a cavernous sinus? No. You can see here lid swelling, right? Lid swelling with proptosis of eye. It is seen in orbital cellulitis. Okay. Most common organism causing orbital cellulitis. What? It is Staph aureus. Okay. Most common sinusitis causing orbital cellulitis is ethmoidal sinusitis. See, orbital sinusitis can also lead to cavernous thrombosis. Okay, it will be its complication. Okay, this is, do you know this animal? This is called as raccoon. See his eyes and see these eyes. It is called as raccoon eye sign. Seen in neuroblastoma. Raccoon eye sign is seen in neuroblastoma. And one more thing, there will be one sure shot question from eye tumor. Eye, everything related to eye, there will be sure shot question from eye tumor. Add this topic in your that 8 topic list. Okay. Now, next, what is it? What is it? It is called as external hordeolum or your stye. External hordeolum or stye. Okay. It is the inflammation of which gland? GS followed by meibomium. It is the inflammation of GS and meibomium. If at all you need to choose one gland, then you will go for GS gland. Okay, not the meibomium. There was this question already been asked in your exam. Now, this is your callosium. This is your calazion. Okay, it is a tarsal or meibomian cyst. Meibomian or tarsal cyst, and this instrument is your calazion clamp. Okay, clamp. You will put this clamp and then you will give vertical incision. Okay, treatment for this is IND. Treatment for calazion is IND, incision and drainage, because this is a non-suppurative inflammation. Okay, instead it is a suppurative inflammation, so we will give antibiotics also. Okay, this one, can you see there are very less cilia or absence of cilia? Absence of cilia. Absence of cilia. It is seen. What is it called? Madarosis. Absence of cilia is called as madarosis. Now, this one, it look like misdirected cilia. It is called as trichiasis. Already been asked as a one-liner in your exam. Now, this is the normal row and this is the extra row of cilia, right? So it is called as dystrichiasis. Extra row of cilia is called as dystrichiasis. Now, this one, here you can see lid just got inward. Lid just got inward, so it is called as entropion. Entropion. And in the second image you can see lid just came outward. It came outward, so it is called as ectropion. Inward movement of lid is called as entropion. Outward movement of lid is called as ectropion. Now, what is this? It is adhesion between palpebral and bulbar conjunctiva. It is called as, what is it? What it is called as? It is called as symbiophron. It is called as symbiophron. Okay, adhesion between palpebral and bulbar conjunctiva. Now, this is adhesion between upper and lower lid, right? This one is your adhesion. It is called as ankyloblephron. Ankyloblephron. It is called as ankyloblephron, adhesion between upper and lower lid margin. Now, what is it? What is it between eye and nose? Which structure goes between eyes and nose? Nasolacrimal duct, right? It is called as dacrocystis is due to blockage of lacrimal sac, right? Lacrimal sac. Tell me, normally nasolacrimal duct open in which meatus? Tell me. No, normally nasolacrimal duct will open in inferior meatus, right? For chronic dacrocystitis we will do a surgery called as dacrocystorhinostomy, In this we will make opening in middle meatus. MCQ recent question. We will open nasolacrimal duct in middle meatus. MCQ. This has already been asked 2 to 3 times. Okay. This one is your. Can anybody tell? It look like cotton wool. It look like cotton wool. It is seen in diabetic retinopathy. It is seen in diabetic retinopathy. Cotton wool appearance is seen in diabetic retinopathy. Now, here you can see we have made so many holes. It is not the holes, but it look like holes, right? It is called as pan retinal photocoagulation. Photocoagulation, PRP. Okay, this is done in diabetic retinopathy to decrease oxygen demand and to decrease VEGF factor. Okay, to decrease VEGF factor in diabetic retinopathy. Now one more thing, tell me anti-VEGF drug. Anti-VEGF drug. Anyone? It is bevacizumab and ranibizumab. MCQ already been asked. Bevacizumab is an anti-VEGF drug. Now here you can see someone has thrown tomato on eye, right? It is called as splashed tomato or tomato ketchup appearance, right? Or thunderstorm appearance. It is seen in CRVO, central retinal venous occlusion. Splash tomato appearance is seen in CRVO. Okay, and the complication of CRVO is complication 100-day glaucoma. Complication of CRVO is 100-day glaucoma, means to make new vessel it will take 100 days. Now this is first tell me what is this investigation is called as. It is called as FFA, fundus fluorescein angiography. FFA, when you will see X-ray like film of eye, it is called as fundus fluorescein angiography. Okay, now this appearance is called as flower petal appearance. Flower petal appearance. Sorry. It is seen in cystoid macular edema. Flower petal appearance. It is seen in cystoid macular edema. Now, can anybody tell answer to this question? Recent question coming again and again. Bitemporal hemianopia is seen in pituitary adenoma due to compression in optic chiasma. Right? Now we will discuss some anopias. First, anopia means blind. Okay, hemi means half blind. Okay, now this is your eye. Okay, this is your eye. Now I will tell you the temporal fiber comes from same side of cortex. Okay, and nasal fibers comes from opposite side of cortex. Means suppose this is my right eye, the temporal fiber will come from right cortex and nasal fiber will come from left side. Right? Now, so we got two fiber, right? Nasal and temporal. Now the nasal fiber will give me temporal vision, means this vision will be given by nasal fibers. Right? Now, and the temporal fiber will give me nasal vision, means this vision is from temporal fibers. Right? And this vision is from nasal fibers. Okay, now if there is damage in optic nerve, okay, single lesion, if there is damage in optic nerve, so if my right sided optic nerve is damaged, suppose, okay, my right sided optic nerve is damaged, so there is cut down of temporal and nasal fibers both, right? So my right eye will be blind. So what is it is called as? It is called as right sided anopia. Anopia full, hemianopia half. So this is called as right anopia. Cut down of both the fibers will be seen in optic nerve. Now optic chiasma. If there is tumor in this pituitary adenoma, because pituitary is situated near the optic chiasma, if there is tumor, so see what is happening now. the nasal side of right eye and means both side of nasal both side of nasal fiber will go, right? So which field will go? If the nasal fibers of both the side is gone, so what will happen? Temporal vision will go, because I told you nasal fibers will give temporal vision, right? So both the side of nasal fibers are gone, so there is a loss of temporal vision. Temporal vision will be lost, so it is called as bitemporal hemianopia. The fiber damage in pituitary adenoma will be nasal fibers, and vision lost is temporal, so it is called as bitemporal hemianopia. Hemi, half. Okay, now if there is damage in optic tract, okay, right sided optic tract is gone, so in the left side there is loss of nasal fiber, right? In the right side there is loss of temporal fiber, so there will be loss of temporal vision, okay, and nasal vision on the same side. This is called as homonymous hemianopia. Homo means same side, this side, not this one, not this one. Okay, there are many. I am just giving you basic because you will understand when you will draw optic tract as a whole and try to solve it, so it will be easy for you. Try to write down. Okay, now this is the image of pachymetry. Pachymetry, it is done for recent MCQ. It is done for thickness of cornea. It is done for thickness of cornea. Okay, recent MCQ. This is called as keratometry. Okay, keratometry. This one also is recent MCQ. Curvature of cornea. Curvature of cornea is checked by keratometry. Now, this is your tonometer. Tonometer. Tonometer, tonopen, conventional tonometer. This is for checking of intraocular pressure. Okay, to check intraocular pressure, this is called as Sezart's tonometer. Sezart's tonometer. Now, they will not give you instrument. There will be one liner from all the instruments. Okay, all the means investigations. Okay, there will be short question. Keratometry they will ask you 2 times, pachymetry 1 time, tonometer also 1 time. Now next time there will be something else. So make a table, put it on your table. There will be short question from tonometer. Now I would love to tell you that ophthalmology is a very easy subject. Do not miss. Okay, and try to read your notes first. Okay, when you will be done with your first revision, for retrograde reading, use this image based session, because sometimes when you read plain, means when you are reading notes, it will not help, but when you will go retrograde, means from images to theory, it will help you. Sometimes visual memory also will help you to solve the questions. Okay, thank you. Okay.